No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for June 7th, 2024. We have Clash at the Castle this coming Saturday, a week from tomorrow. It is Friday night, June 7th, June 15th. We have Clash at the Castle in Scotland. To kick off SmackDown this week, we had footage shown from last week, AJ Styles pulling a Mark Henry with the fake retirement. Cody Rhodes absolutely irate. He was backstage in the parking lot looking for AJ Styles. We had the Bloodline come to the ring for a promo. Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Paul Heyman gave an address, the state of the Bloodline. He said that until Roman Reigns comes back, Solo sits at the head of the table. The crowd chanted, "We want Roman," and then Paul Heyman revealed that Tama Tonga will now be known as the right-hand man. And then Tonga Loa was officially anointed into the Bloodline. But Solo Sikoa asked if Paul Heyman was forgetting something, and Heyman was instructed to thank the Tongas for helping him last week. That's what Heyman did, and Tama said that they saved Paul Heyman by the orders of the tribal chief. Heyman then revealed that Kevin Owens wants a piece of the Bloodline. And sure enough, right on cue, Kevin Owens came out there. He got into a fight with the Bloodline, but he was outnumbered. Luckily for him, the Street Profits ran down to make the save, and then Owens got a steel chair, and the Bloodline fled. Now, after the commercial break, Solo Sikoa confronted Paul Heyman and wanted a six-man tag team match. Good segment to open up the show, and I like that the heels are the ones that are actually demanding a match instead of, being cowards and not wanting the match. No, Solo actually demanded the six-man tag team match, and it was, of course, set up for the main event spot. We had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, going up against Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. Again, Jade and Bianca already beat them at the Premium Live event over in Saudi Arabia, King and Queen of the Ring. Yet we're having this match again. Now we had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn there at ringside, and also at ringside, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Now, it was another standard tag team match. Bianca was double teamed a little bit. Jade Cargill came in for the hot tag. Things broke down, and then Jade and Bianca pinned Indi to win. Fairly straightforward. And then afterwards, the other two teams, the contenders, both teams jumped Jade and Bianca, and then each of them had one of the tag team titles, held them up, but then they started fighting. That allowed Jade and Bianca to come back in, and they did their double team finishers to Fire and Dawn and stood tall to end the segment. This ultimately set up a triple threat for Clash at the Castle. Later on, Jade and Bianca were coming out of Nick Aldis's office, and they did reveal that there was going to be a triple threat. Whatever. It's just another title defense for the champions. I guess a triple threat stacks the odds against them a little bit. They don't care. They'll take on anybody. But they already beat up Fire and Dawn here in this segment, laying them out with their finishers. It is what it is. It's filler, but Jade and Bianca doing well. I just wish that WWE had some higher quality teams to go after them. Not that there's not anything wrong with the two teams, but the two teams just have not been booked very well and are basically bottom of the totem pole here. And my guess is Isla Dawn and Alba Fire will be the ones that will be taking the fall in this. But maybe not. You never know. Could be Zoe Stark, maybe even Shayna at this point. Backstage, Apollo Crews was interviewed for his match against Angel Garza, but he was jumped by Legado del Fantasma. They beat him up a little bit, and Apollo wasn't cleared to wrestle. I mean, they did a pretty weak beatdown. I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy, and Apollo wasn't cleared. Sucks to be Apollo. He got his one match last week, and now he's going to struggle to get any kind of TV time. LA Knight then showed up and once again asked Nick Aldis where Logan Paul was, the United States champion. Aldis revealed that Logan Paul was not there again. So much for Logan Paul being a regular and actually showing up. Carmelo Hayes interrupted, and LA Knight had an idea for a match. Since Apollo Crews was out, why not LA Knight versus Carmelo? And Nick Aldis officially confirmed the match. We had Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller in a singles match. Gargano countered the rolling stunner move that Waller does, and Gargano gave Waller this sliced bread on the floor. Both guys were hurting from that. And then after the commercial break, Waller took control for a while, but then Gargano made a comeback, hit a modified destroyer move, and Waller rolled to the outside. Gargano went for a dive, and here's the key moment. Waller pulled his partner, Austin Theory, in the way, so Theory took the bullet. Gargano then got thrown into the ring post, sent back into the ring, and Waller scored the 1-2-3 victory. Austin Theory, though, not happy that he was thrown into the crossfire. It was what it was. You know, they're teasing a breakup of Waller and Theory, which, as I mentioned before, I don't think that's a good idea. It could only hurt these guys at this point. I think they're better off together. And I'm sure we'll see a tag team title match at some point. You know, this was just more filler. We had Nick Aldis backstage. He had security just as a precaution for the arrival of AJ Styles. And sure enough, Cody was ready in the back, but then AJ showed up with the OC. So Cody Rhodes stormed to the ring, and he demanded that AJ come out there, which AJ and the OC did. There was security. AJ said he'll fight Cody, but he wants a rematch for the world title at Clash at the Castle. Cody Rhodes did, in fact, accept the match, but he did add that it will be an I Quit match, something AJ should have done last week, according to Cody. Cody then tried to go after AJ, but was stopped by security. Cody attacked the security, and security was struggling. AJ Styles then came in with a cheap shot and then took his leave. At least we got a stipulation for this. It's going to be I Quit. But still, Cody ain't losing this. It is what it is, like I tend to say here. We had LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo got in some offense, but then they were on the outside of the ring, and Carmelo was slammed into the table, and then Carmelo got back body dropped onto the table. After the commercial break, Carmelo was able to avoid the megastar elbow, but then Knight power slammed him, and then Knight did the elbow, got it on the second attempt, Carmelo, though, avoided the BFT, tried to roll up LA Knight, but LA Knight reversed that, countered with a roll-up of his own, and got the 1-2-3 victory. Match was okay, but Carmelo was almost an afterthought in this. Obviously setting up LA Knight versus Logan Paul. And after the match, LA Knight got on the mic and he said that he'll be bringing SmackDown to Logan Paul since Logan Paul isn't appearing on SmackDown. And then we had Logan Paul cut a promo from his home or wherever he was. So Logan Paul said he's got a Tetris tournament. He's going to win a Tetris championship, and he's not going to bother with a guy that's never won a title in WWE. And he basically said that LA Knight needs to go back to the mid-card. Not sure when they're doing this match. I figured they would do it SummerSlam, but I mean, we still got a couple months now until SummerSlam. Seems a little bit early to start building towards it if it's not happening until SummerSlam, but maybe it's happening sooner. We'll see. Backstage, Naomi warned Chelsea Green. Oh, wait a minute. I'm jumping ahead here. So let me back it up. Tiffany Stratton was backstage with Nia Jax, said she had Nia's back if Nia ever needed it, told her to think about it. Nia seemed disinterested. And then we had Mia Yim getting in Nia Jax's face. Nia told Mia to retire like AJ Styles. So Mia took her drink and threw it in the face of Nia. Officials had to come out there to separate them, and that set up a match for next week, Nia Jax versus Mia Yim. Filler to build up Nia Jax towards SummerSlam. Bayley then came to the ring, said that she is in unfamiliar territory going up against Piper Niven at Clash at the Castle. Piper interrupted with Chelsea Green. Chelsea was doing the talking here at first, called Bayley a loser, said that they will become the new women's champion. And then Bayley responded by saying that Piper Niven doesn't need Chelsea Green. Bayley actually respects Piper, unlike Chelsea, brought up the Mae Young Classic and said all Piper had to do was ask for a title match. And Bayley said she's going to have some damn fun beating Piper. And then Piper responded by saying Bayley knows nothing about her journey. Piper brought up how she put Scottish women's wrestling on the map in 2008, and she's going to stand over Bayley in Scotland as champion. It was a decent segment to build up their match, but again, Bayley ain't losing the title at this point. So my interest for it is moderate, I guess I could say. I thought the promo was fine, but crowd doesn't really care all that much about Piper. As Walter pointed out, like, it's because the show was in Scotland. Kind of the same reason Zelina Vega got the title match in Puerto Rico, you know, just to get the pop in Puerto Rico. Same thing here. Piper will get the big reaction and should be an entertaining match, but, you know, Bayley's not losing. We had Naomi, as I was mentioning, warning Chelsea Green backstage to keep her name out of her mouth because Chelsea had brought up Naomi as Bayley's little buddy during the promo segment. And then Nick Aldis set up a match for next week in Scotland. It will be Naomi versus Chelsea Green. We had our main event of the evening, Street Profits teaming up with Kevin Owens against the Bloodline. The Profits had the early momentum, and then Solo took control. He threw Montez Ford into the ring post, into the apron, continued dominating Ford after the break, did the big hip attack in the corner, but eventually Ford was able to get the hot tag to Kevin Owens. Owens came in, went at it with Solo, and Owens avoided the Samoan spike, hit the stunner, but then he got pulled out of the ring by the Tongas, and they fought on the outside. Montez Ford then came over the corner, the ring post, doing the big dive onto everybody. And at this point, Solo was feeling desperate. Solo got the steel chair, used it, got disqualified, and the fight continued after the match. Bloodline got the upper hand. Crowd was chanting for Randy Orton, but to no avail. Solo then, interestingly enough, busted out the spear, the Roman Reigns spear on Montez Ford. And then afterwards, the Shield the Bloodline did the Shield power bomb to Kevin Owens through the announce table. So yeah, they're busting out the old Shield power bomb, and it was a good angle. I thought the Bloodline stuff on the show was strong. It was a solid ending to SmackDown. SmackDown was okay, though. I still feel like it's not going to pick up until we're closer to SummerSlam. We got another, even though it's going to be a fun show in Scotland, it's another filler pay-per-view. I did like the Bloodline angle. They're slowly building towards that. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Solo at SummerSlam. If I had to make a guess right now, this was definitely teasing in that direction. Bloodline stuff, strongest thing. If you're going to watch anything, check that out. I give it a B-. The Bloodline stuff brought it up. The rest of SmackDown, take it or leave it. Not much to it. It's kind of in a lame duck period right now with SmackDown until we really get on the road to SummerSlam and Roman comes back and we really start cooking with gas. But we're about a month away until all that. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out the recap. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up on social media. I will be doing a live recap of Battleground. That will be Sunday night on the No DQ YouTube channel. Tell a friend. Please spread the word about the No DQ YouTube channel. Tell a friend. Anybody who watches wrestling, have them check it out. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. Have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy Battleground. And I will see you all next time.